zur Deutsch-Stunde hier bei Core Languages mit Rob. Ja, lass uns mal heute über Siezen und Duzen sprechen. Today we're going to talk about the difference between addressing somebody formally and informally. German has two verbs to indicate this, and if we think about the personal pronouns for formal and informal you, Sie is formal, du is informal, then we could see where the verbs meaning to use or address somebody with this particular form, where they come from. Siezen, duzen. So when you siezen somebody, that means addressing them with the formal you. Entschuldigen Sie, darf ich Sie was fragen? Duzen, entschuldige, weißt du, wie spät es ist? Right, so using du versus using Sie. Informal and formal here, du, Sie. All right. So why is this important? Why does German even have a Sie form for formal, du form for informal? We don't do this in English. We're going to use formal address anytime we're talking to somebody we don't know very well. This is a safe default if you walk into any business, any restaurant or bar and so on, or cafe, bookstore, what have you, and you want to talk to somebody about their services, their products, ordering something, you should default to the Sie form, the formal form. Okay? And you will note that if you go to a restaurant, a waiter or waitress will ask you, was möchten Sie, oder was möchten Sie trinken? Right? So they're going to be using the Sie form with you as well. Now, at the workplace, they are typically a little bit more formal and will use Sie among between your boss and yourself, and sometimes even with colleagues. It just depends on the relationship. But more and more gradually, that is, German businesses are starting to use du to address colleagues, whereas 34 years ago this wasn't really the case. So this is starting to change ever so slowly, but it's becoming more and more popular to do that. That said, if you're unsure whether or not you should use Sie or du, you should default to Sie, because it never hurts to be a little extra formal, and then of course you can or they can initiate the idea of addressing one another in an informal way. You could say, lassen wir uns, or lassen wir einander duzen, or dürfen wir einander duzen? To make more of a polite request, may we use du when we're talking to each other? Great. So I'm going to write that up right here. Dürfen wir einander duzen? Completely acceptable way to ask. And the other person will then let you know whether they feel comfortable enough to use the formal or informal address. Now, when you're using, when you siezen somebody, that it could come across as also being a little distant. So if you're talking to somebody that you know and you've met with them or him or her a number of times, and maybe they're a work colleague or maybe an acquaintance, it would be very strange to be using the Sie formal form. Another thing to think about and keep in mind is with Sie, you are essentially addressing somebody who is a social superior. All right. Well, that's it for Siezen and Duzen for today. And wie auch immer, auf Wiedersehen und tschüss.